Body weight regulation. So, continuing our exploration of obesity, its causes and its implications on your health, let's now talk about a little bit about the regulation of the body weight. There is a hypothesis, general accepting in the public that body weight for every person is already set by nature. So, every person is born with already a set body weight which will remain stable throughout his life. So, if a person have to be a smart person, he will remain smart, and if a person is have to be have a setting in his body somehow, that he will be, then he will be a obese person. Uh, so, if the weight drops of a person to some extent, he will regain, according to this hypothesis, he will regain that weight. और अगर एक बंदा बहुत मोटा होता है, he gains weight, he will lose weight eventually with the passage of time. And one of the major mechanism which is set by body according to this hypothesis, that if a person is increasing the weight, eventually his appetite will start decreasing, and as a result of this, his weight will be balanced, he will lose weight again, and his energy expenditures will also start getting lowered. But if a person have decreased his weight significantly, what will happen? That his appetite will increase, and eventually he will also start overfeeding himself, and in this way his weight will be regained. So, according to this hypothesis, if the weight is, somehow, if a person is obese, he will remain obese. If a person is stable, is smart, he will remain smart physically. But there are certainly some limitations, and you can think of that limitations. आप सोच सकते हैं कि इसमें प्रॉब्लम्स हैं इस बात में कि हमने कुदरती तौर पर अगर एक बंदा मोटा है तो वो मोटा ही रहेगा, पतला है तो पतला ही रहेगा. There are some limitations, some challenges to this. For instance, yes, so you can think about it. Yes, we see in general population the obesity is increasing. If there is this, if your weight is already set, then why it is on the increase? It should be somehow be neutralized. There should be people who are, most of them actually are all the time of a normal weight, are not obese, but we are seeing the obesity is increasing day by day. Also, we see that people who become obese, they were smarter, but then they regain the weight, and they gain the weight much more than which they had before. It's very difficult to then them to lose the weight. The weight goes on increasing. So, in that way, this we cannot accept this set point hypothesis in its totality. There are definitely some problems in it. There are, of course, to some extent you can accept it, but not in its real totality. Also, this set point hypothesis, actually, when we talk about it, comes from the our understanding that we take genetic material from our parents, and that genetic material can then govern that whether or not we will be obese. And to some extent, it is correct that genetics play a very, very important role in controlling the body weight. For instance, you can see the adopted children when they are brought up by a family which is quite, let's say, for instance, which is quite healthy and which can nourish them well, but still these adopted children don't get obese. Their weight is very much according to their original parents, their real biological parents, not like their adopted parents. So, that is one indication that shows that genetics play important role. Similarly, the identical twins, they have uh, very much the same weight, even if they are brought up in different environments, still they tend to have almost the same BMIs, that is body to weight ratio or body to mass ratio. So that is that shows that genetics play important role. When we talk about genetics, of course, then we have to talk about the mutations, that there are certain mutations in certain proteins that may lead to obesity. One of the protein is of course leptin family system, leptin genes. These genes are the proteins they encode. They play important role in controlling the weight of the body, and if mutation occurs in this gene, it has been shown that it leads to obesity. Then genetics all in all cannot be responsible. We cannot say it's responsible for the obesity or for controlling the weight of the body. And again, because this is what we see, if genetics was the everything, then why we are seeing this increase in the body weight in young children or in even adults also. So environment also play important role, and this environment include availability of food. You have lots of options to eat the food of your own, I mean, taste. Then your lifestyle has changed a lot, and then your eating behavior, how much you eat in one sitting, that is the portion size, and how much variety of food you eat, and how much fats it contains. This also play an important role. So not only genetics alone, not only environment alone, both genetics and environment control your body weight by somehow making they jointly, hand in hand, they work together to control your body weight. So another factor which we should not forget is the epigenetic changes. The epigenetic changes are those changes, which takes place, which doesn't change your DNA, not change your genetic material, but definitely they change the pattern of expression of your genes. So you can see it is not only genetics, and it's not only uh, the environment, it's a combination of both. Both then somehow are involved in the regulation of your body weight. That's why your susceptibility to obesity varies from individual to individual, and also there is influence of the epigenetic changes also. I mean, it's not only we usually talk about the genetic changes, but also epigenetic, and we now know that in many of the disorders the epigenetic changes play important role, especially during the development in the mother's womb. Whatever environment of that during that developmental conditions, whatever the mother is eating, or whatever epigenetic changes are occurring at that time, they also play important role in controlling the weight of the child.